Vikings, one of the teams inquiring about Trey Lance? What? Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show. I'm Lupagus here with Onebar, and Mike Florio says the Minnesota Vikings are one of those teams that have inquired about Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, is he coming home? We're going to talk about that. Before we do, hit that sub button. Let's get to 10,000 subs. Join us live tonight at 7 o'clock Central. Boom. Trey Lance, let's do it.
Yeah, so earlier the news was that teams were inquiring, and I think you did a video on that already. But now, Mike Florio, pretty reliable source, saying that the Vikings are actually one of those teams that have made calls.
Some think he's reliable. Some think he's the worst. But you know what? Hey, I believe him. I believe it. Absolutely. Even when I did the video this morning, it's like I'd be very surprised if the Vikings were not one of those teams. Look, the Niners, they're getting rid of them. They're getting rid of them. Who's going to pay up the most?
Yeah, and there was some scenario three-way trade with the Eagles that was on ESPN today. I think the Vikings had to give it 23, but they got like a second and a third in Trey Lance. It was very complicated. Those three ways just always confuse me.
Yeah, but they do. Here's the thing. There's two ways they're going to do this. Three-way trade, no fucking way. Kirk Cousins, the weird pie in the sky one where you put him into the mix and it blows everything up. Niners got to give us more. We get Trey Lance, all that. Or it's going to be draft picks. That's the way, only way I see it.
Yeah, and looking at it, I've been on the Trey Lance movement all draft season long. You look at who's going to be there 23, the risk with all these players. I would rather give up lower draft capital to get Trey Lance and roll the dice on him. I still don't think you're overly committed to him if he doesn't pan out. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, why are they getting rid of him? Why are they getting rid of him? They found Brock Purdy, a guy who can run their offense perfectly. They don't need to invest more time in Trey Lance. He was hurt, didn't really get a fair shot. A lot of people are saying, well, maybe he just looked awful here and there. I don't think that's the case. I just think they got Brock Purdy in place. They know he can do it. Now they can ship Trey Lance and get something from return. He lost his job due to injury. It happens sometimes, even though teams say it never does.
Yeah, and I mean, Purdy, it sounds like he's out for the entire next year. So that's something big for the Niners as well. They did bring in Sam Darnold, whether you like it or not. But the writing's on the wall. Trey Lance is gone. Doesn't matter why they don't want him, whatever. My big thing and my main point is why they should do it for the right pick is that he's 22. You're going to get 3 more years for him. Yep. Everyone says, oh, he sucks. He's raw, whatever. He's supposed to be. That is not a surprise. He was supposed to be raw. He was supposed to be a boomer bust type guy. And at still 22 years old, hell yeah, he's worth something. I want nothing more than a second. Second's as high as I'm going. It'd have to be a second next year.
Yeah, and if you're looking at, would you rather have him, Hooker, or Levis? I would rather have Trey Lance. I would rather have Trey Lance than those two. So
that's
he's
first
the one
round guys. I mean, those are first round guys. So we're not giving up a first round pick for Trey Lance. No, it ain't gonna happen. I compare it to like the Tanner McKees and those second guys. It's like, would you rather have one of them guys in like round 3 or take a swing with a round 2 guy? They're just it's easy to say you don't want it, but if you don't have a backup plan, you got nothing behind it.
I want Trey Lance.
Second round pick next year. Do it. Make it happen. Bring him home. The only other thing is the other teams, the Titans, Texans, Raiders, Bucks, the other teams kind of rumored around him. The Raiders and Texans have done some real dumb shit in the past. They might just give up the house for this guy.
Yeah. The Vikings don't have as much draft capital as some of those other teams. So a bidding war, if that does ensue, Vikings could be screwed. But definitely something to watch on. This isn't the first time this Trey Lance name has been floated around. Remember, last year they had the joint practices together. So Vikings coaching staff got a long, nice, hard look at this guy. So they know a lot about Trey Lance. And if they want him, I think they already made that decision.
It's 50-50 if he's going to pan out. I'm willing to take it. Let's go. Yeah, it'd be fun as hell to watch.
All right, that's it.
We don't have a quarterback after next year, so we need something in place.
And a key note to that 3-way trade I saw, Nick Mullins was part of it. He was shipped. I know. You can't get rid of Big Dick Nick. And speaking of big dicks, the average blue whale's penis, 8 feet long.
Not bad.
It's decent.